Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie. Welcome to episode 18 of the 200 Movie Challenge. 18! Now it's been more weeks.
18.
We've been 18 episodes. We've been, we've been doing this for quite a while now. I mean, I know we skipped a few weeks, but episode 18, we're getting close to that halfway point. It's weird. I felt we should be, well, if you look at I look at the end of June. End of June is 6 months. I know, give or take, what the weeks might be, but I'm like, our goal is to hit 200 films. 100 each was the original goal, but 200 total by the end of the year. Oh, excuse me. And, so I'm looking at when we hit end of June, that's 6 months. Our goal is, if we're at around 100, if we're above 100, we're on a good pace. And I think we're at a good pace right now. We have 4 movies to talk about, which will bring us up to 79 total.
Nice.
79. So if we can get 21 in combined, not obviously combined 21 by before June 30th or before that week when we record, then we are in a good pace. So yeah, we've had a couple down weeks, but overall, we're still good. We're still good. Our goal is not in sight, but we're like, okay, there's a good end goal. I think
the halfway point is right there. I mean, what, 11 movies for me and 10 for you by the end of June? That's very doable.
Yeah, if we both get so whenever we hit the 100 mark officially, I don't know if we'll see the same movie. I know we joked about our 200th movie should be the same. We should see Terrifier 3 if that's free. But I would like to do, I think we might do a fun little 100 movie recap. Just kind of look at our list, make fun of it, see what happens. But that's for the future. Right now, we have 4 movies. Soto, we're going to start off with you. We'll do a little back and forth today. I know I like to mix it up. So tell us about the first movie you saw, why you saw it. I got to, because once you announce what it is, I am going to throw something really out there real quick. But go ahead.
Have you heard of this movie?
Nope. I just saw who was in it, and that's where I'm going to go. What?
Okay, so I'll tell you, I wasn't aware of this movie at all. And then I was able to, just kind of looking through, I think, what did I see this through Amazon or something like that? This movie is called The Last Witch Hunter, and it stars Vin Diesel. And I will be honest with you, I'm pretty sure Vin Diesel just plays himself in this movie.
That's the point I want to make, because we joked about Mark Wahlberg, Jason Statham, who we've had a few times. I'm like, Vin Diesel is Vin Diesel. That's it. But anyhow, I just wanted to point out there, I had the same point. With the instant I saw Vin Diesel, I'm like, okay, it's a Vin Diesel movie. I digress. Go ahead, Soto.
Right, but so when you choose to watch a Vin Diesel movie, and that's how you decide to spend your time, you know what you're going to get into, right? So I wasn't thinking that I was going to watch anything that was going to blow my mind. I just wanted something that was, well, I'll be 100% honest with you. I wanted to watch something that was short and that I could just enjoy and turn my brain off. And when I saw Vin Diesel's dumbass face on the cover of this, I said, you know what? This is going to be the movie for me. I think it only runs at, I want to say 101 minutes, which really speaks to me. And so I saw it. I saw that it also had an actress from Game of Thrones that I really liked as well, who played a pretty pivotal character there. And I think it was like season 4, but I liked her a lot. And I saw she was in there. So I said, how bad could this be? Chad, would you think that you would expect Michael Caine to be at the beginning of this movie?
Probably not, but some of the choices Michael Caine has made throughout his career, I mean, if the money is right, he basically said Jaws the Revenge paid for his summer house. So, I'll leave it at that. So, no.
All right. So let me digress and let you know what Vin Diesel's dealing with in this situation, okay? He's an immortal warrior. And in the beginning, it opens up and he's like this Viking dude. So I never thought I'd see Vin Diesel as a Viking, but here we are. He had like hair and all that stuff. So basically, he goes and with his Viking buddies at the very beginning of the movie, he goes to slay this witch queen that kind of lives in this big ass tree. I guess she's kind of cursed everybody with the Black Death or whatever. And so they go in there and they all know they're gonna die. And long story short, Vin Diesel ends up like fighting the witch queen, but she curses him with immortality. And so he spends the last 800 years just tracking down witches and killing them and stuff like that. And I guess being really witty. So he always has like the order. I don't even remember the fucking what their name was. But there's an order that's like specifically there to like watch over him and stuff. And there's like 39th whatever people like Michael Caine is like the latest one. So I'm like, Michael Caine, holy shit. He shows up. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people in this movie. Then Elijah Wood shows up as like a cleric sidekick and stuff. I was like, how many fucking people are in this movie? So I was expecting it to be a lot dumber than it was because the premise is just, you could tell that this is just Vin Diesel just wanting to have a vehicle for himself where he gets to play this type of character because I guess he's kind of a nerd. That's cool. I've seen Pitch Black too. I like Pitch Black as well. But, you know, this movie, it's actually, if you turn your brain off and you're looking for something entertaining, it's actually not terrible. I found myself at parts going, okay, like I don't want to turn this off. Like the story is moving forward. There is a lot of lore that is like baked in there and exposition and weird ass shit. The action scenes are okay. I mean, it had a story. I'm not saying it was a great one, but it was a story that kept me entertained for 101 minutes. And at least maybe entertain is a strong word to use, but at least I was engaged because I've seen movies on this list where, you know, you get to the last 30 minutes and you're like, please God, just let this fucking end. I want to do something else. I don't want to watch this movie anymore. I just want to move on. And I didn't really get that with this movie. I think that the ending was probably kind of dumb because the way that it sort of resolves itself is that like it leaves it open-ended because apparently this was supposed to be like some sort of sequel franchise thing. I don't know why they ever thought that because it's pretty much Hellboy without any makeup. And I just was like, it kind of just ends and then it's like whatever. But you know, overall, I thought this was a fine movie. If I was at Blockbuster Video and I saw this shit on the new release wall and you know, I didn't have much else to watch and then I picked it up and watched it, this would be a perfect way to spend a night and just turn your brain off. And sometimes I think that for me personally, you need to be able to watch movies sometimes where you can just turn your fucking brain off and not have to think about anything deeper and it moves forward. There's a story. How many times have we said it on this podcast? There's a 3-act structure and things happen for a reason. I don't care what things happen as long as you explain why. As if you set the rules, you follow the rules, right?
Correct.
And that's how I felt with this movie. I actually thought this movie it wasn't great, but it was a perfect popcorn movie that I'll never watch again. But I wouldn't say I was bored during this movie for the duration.
So before you get into your rankings,
Yeah.
I kind of had to look this up. I'm like, I was curious if it was based on anything because of what you're talking about. So I want to read this to you, what it's based on, because you kind of said there is a lot of lore. It's based on Dungeons and Dragons, specifically Vin Diesel's long-running Dungeons and Dragons character Melkor, who was a witch hunter. The movie was inspired by Diesel's Dungeons and Dragons campaigns and the character he played, which he later shared with screenwriter Corey Goodman. So basically, yes, this is based on Dungeons and D&D. This is basically based on D&D characters that he created and his, you know, campaigns. And yes, they made it into a movie. So I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
That there's lore, but it's lore that he created. So
He's such a nerd. I mean, he made his own movie based on his own stupid bullshit. It's okay. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his nerdery, but I'll tell you what, Chad.
What?
Vin Diesel's character didn't learn anything in this movie. Look, he just basically was the coolest guy from the beginning of the movie all the way to the end. And not in a cool Marty McFly way, but in a way where this is just a Vin Diesel vehicle. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Triple X.
Long time. Oh, I have a story for that.
I'll save that for Saturday, but Triple X it's not like Xander Kane learns anything. He just is Xander Kane the whole goddamn movie.
No, he's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's Vin Diesel, but yes.
Right. I apologize. He's Vin Diesel. But yeah, this I would recommend this movie. I didn't get a lot of Dungeons and Dragons shit out of it because it didn't really have a lot of the classic D&D shit in it. I don't know if you've seen Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. That is a solid ass movie. But yeah, I didn't really get the vibe that it was. I got the vibe that he was being nerdy about himself. That definitely came across in this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He's a
always
nerd.
admitted he's that way, and it's weird to think that, Vin Diesel being nerdy, especially since a lot of his characters he portrays so strongly. Like, there's certain things like his characters can't do, like Fast and the Furious and shit like that. But I
Uh,
digress. It's hard. I especially since I didn't see it. But what I guess the big question is, yeah, where does this go? Because we've had some weird ups and downs with movies that are
Complicated.
just movies. Like I know last week Love
Yeah.
Hurts was just kind of the same, like fun popcorn flick. Didn't need to think much. I like not thinking in a movie sometimes. I'm okay with it.
Me too. That's how I started watching movies. I don't, I didn't want to be like, oh, like I wasn't a little kid at 6 year old being like, oh my god, the mise en scène and the film theory. It's like, no, I was watching it because it has story, and a story is what drives a fucking movie. And the less I have to think about that story, sometimes the better. And like you just said, sometimes I'm in the mood for something a little bit deeper. Most of the times, I'm in the mood for something where I could just like, I've had a long day at work. I just want to pop something in, or it's like a Saturday morning. I just want to pop something in and just forget, have a good time, have a story just unfold, and then when it ends, I don't think about it again. And so, where do I rank this? Oh, this is hard. This is
It's
really
getting
hard
harder
now.
and harder every friggin' time we do this.
I think this is the first time where it's felt hard because now I'm looking at my list and I'm like, ooh, I may need to move some things around. As my tastes kind of evolve here because I mean, I tell you what, I mean, I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Oppenheimer and Tree of Life, that's for sure. I don't feel comfortable putting it above it. I would say that for now,
It's your list, Sonny. Do realize you can do whatever you want to do. Take a look at my
I
list, and there's
know.
some. I'm like, these lists are meant to be, yes, how we enjoyed it. But part of it is it a good movie? Because obviously, like we talked about Lawrence Arabia, a classic movie is going
Sure,
to make us
sure.
enjoy it more. So I'm just telling
Of
you right
course.
now, don't overthink it too much. I mean, it is your list. I'm just telling you, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
True. This
Because
is
by the
very
sounds
true.
of it,
And
I
I'll
would
tell you
put
right
this
now,
over Oppenheimer, but that's me.
I I'm like two, and we'll revisit this at the end of the year. Right now, I think it fits comfortably right behind the Beekeeper at 25. And I think that that's like its own little niche there. I enjoyed it more than Havoc, and Twisters. Um, yeah, I got to look at this whole list and kind of. Some things feel really right in this list, and some things feel like they need adjusting. Do you get that with your list too?
Oh, I talked about it last week. Once in a while, I might do it again. I think doing it every 20 helped, like every 20 movies, because as I said last week, what I did is I looked at
Yeah.
number one and number two, and just kind of just like, and I kind of went down the line, and the top half of my list stayed the same. The bottom half there was some switches. So just sit there. You're getting close to 40. Maybe after this episode, kind of do that. Just kind of
Yeah.
look and just kind of redo everything and like, okay, I'm happy with it. But that's what I did. I'm like one and two, two and three, and I kind of went down, did a few times, and even today I was looking at the middle, like a middle section of my list. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, this is a
That's
later. This
that's
is a
what's
later.
fucking me up
This is
right now.
later Chad problem because I'm like I was happy with the top of my list, and I was like, right now I'm gonna keep it because I just did it last week. So I'm like, I'm going to hold off on it a little bit. But I feel like there might be some minor changes in the middle. But yeah, I got to. I think because as you sit on it and what your list is kind of becoming, you kind of have to change things
Yeah.
around a little bit. So, but
Yeah.
it happens. It happens. But Vin Diesel.
I mean, right. Vin Diesel, yeah, number 25 with a bullet, Last Witch Hunter. Would I watch a sequel? I mean, if it's free, I'd watch it. But to go back to the list idea, this is going to be a living, breathing thing, right? As movies get better and worse, I think with time, right? I mean, we feel certain ways about movies that we grew up with versus what we've seen recently. But
Correct.
yeah, like I feel like, for example, like a movie that I've seen recently, like Anora. I keep thinking about it, and I know I said I'm going to see it again. I think that's probably why my brain keeps thinking about it. But as your brain keeps watching that movie over and over again, I think it kind of secretly changes your opinion on it. So I think I'm going to take your advice. And 3940, I'll go and take a look. I think Pro Wrestlers vs Zombies is still going to be at the bottom. If I had to be honest, I don't think that movie is going up. But you never know. I could surprisingly see Beetlejuice. We'll see.
Ooh, I need you to see this. I need you to understand what
It's
I've been
gonna
going
happen.
through because
It's gonna happen. I promise. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I gotta be ready for it because it might actually not be as bad as what I keep telling myself because you've told me it's so shit that I'm gonna
that's
turn it
true.
on and be like, this is gonna be the worst movie I've ever seen. And if it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, I'm gonna feel relieved, and that relief will make me
Well,
feel like it's a better movie.
it's
Does
not the
that make
worst movie
sense?
I've seen because obviously right now out of 42 it ranks 35. So like there is still some shit that's below it. It just I think because it just had higher expectations for what the first film accomplished, for what the first film
Mhm.
did, and now where
Yep.
this is at. So real quick before I get into my movie, because we're gonna forget about this, and I'm gonna share this Vin Diesel Triple X story just because it will have. Obviously, we were store managers at Blockbuster. You know, that's just what our lives were. And I worked at the Methuen Blockbuster. It was my first store manager job. One of the questions I always liked is, hey, what's your favorite movie? What have you seen recently? Tell me why I should rent it. You know, that's like a typical question. So to when Triple X came out, this was the new movie this week. I had like 4 or 5 interviews. Four of them were like Triple X, Triple X, Triple X. And I'm like, oh my God, so
Oh
unoriginal.
God.
But the last
Oh
interview, but my
God.
last interview, she said run Lola run, and I basically hired her. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm in. But yeah, that I mean, since you mentioned Triple X, I had to throw out there. Everyone was like, oh, Triple X, because it was at that time the new movie that just came out. Which yeah, you want to sell, but you know when I'm like favorite movies, or you know, I'm just like, oh my God, and I'm just hearing the same shit every interview, and I love Run Lola Run, so
Terrible,
I
dude.
had to throw
Yeah,
that out
Rumble
there.
the Run is good. Like that shows that you had to look for it because that wasn't an easily accessible movie. It shows you like movies, but Triple X. I mean, only thing I liked about Triple X was that Asia Argento was in it. And I had a really big crush on her at the time. But the rest of it, I think there was a sequel with like Ice Cube or something like
Correct.
that
Yep.
too.
State of
Maybe
the
I'll watch that.
Union or
I've never
something.
seen it.
No. Well,
Oh
you know what?
God, you know what? Actually, no.
Let's not. Hold on.
Oh,
This could end up being our 100th movie, but we'll talk about
um,
that because I feel like
no, no. I'm
whatever
sorry.
we
I
get to
said
the
it.
100th movie, we might want to coordinate something, whether it's hilarious or bad. I just feel like 100th needs to be
Mm,
something special.